Well, good afternoon. It is Saturday, April the 6th, 2:01 p.m. Central Time in St. Louis. I'm Leon Davis, and this is Altitude Adjustment. I want to thank you very much for taking the opportunity to join me this afternoon. My guest today is David L. Jackson, and we're going to talk about St. Louis politics coming up right now.
Welcome to Altitude Adjustment.
Alrighty. Well, as I said, I want to thank you all for joining me, and I'd like to welcome you to the show, Mr. Jackson. How are you today?
Good. Thank you for the invite.
Oh, you're quite welcome. We had talked previously, and one of the things we talked about was the school board, and so I wanted to definitely follow up on that, and then I wanted to talk about the city-county merger. And if we have time, I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the other things that are going on in St. Louis. One of the things was I read an article recently on STL Today about David McKee, or I'm sorry, I don't remember his first name, but McKee.
Paul McKee.
Yeah, Paul McKee, and he owned quite a bit of property here in St. Louis, and I was kind of trying to get an idea of what you think might be going on there. But let me start first with the Board of Education.
Yes.
So Adam Lane and Tracy Miller wound up being picked for the board, and so Adam had a bit of controversy associated with his nomination.
Yes, he did. Basically it was a trade out between him and Charlie Cooksey, because Charlie Cooksey and him do have a relationship not only with each other, but with similar organizations that promote proponents of charter schools.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was the confusion or the controversy with Adam. Of course, it was excitable to see that he was a young black male being a teacher and also teaching math. However, he sits on the board of a charter school, and he's a charter school proponent.
Right.
So why would you want to be on the board of a public school district that is in direct conflict with the charter schools?
So what was his answer to that? How did he approach that issue?
Well, he never really quite answered it one-on-one. When I asked him about that, basically he just said that he believes in helping children. And by saying that, I just took it that he didn't care what he had to do to support his objectives, as long as it's benefiting kids. And Charlie Cooksey had the same stand. It didn't matter that they were charter school proponents. They were really interested in helping young black kids.
Mm-hmm. So now, the charter school of the board that he sat on was an organization funded partially by Rex Sinkfield, which is also behind the city-county merger. Who is also behind a part of the city-county merger. So do you feel that Adam Lane could be problematic for the St. Louis City residents?
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. With him being on the board of the public school district, I'm hoping that his members really, once they come back into governors of the district, that they get their attorney to look at the conflict of interest, because there's definitely a conflict of interest, not only with him, but others that may be on the board. So, it really needs to be looked at, because of, the St. Louis Public Schools, the Special Administrative Board, just lost their lawsuit. Remember, they, back in 2015-16, they sued the state in trying to recoup about $50 million from the charter schools that they were contributing to.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought it was a frivolous lawsuit, because the way the law reads, charter schools are indeed are in fact public schools. So they share in those tax dollars also. And so the judge agreed with that, and the case was dismissed last week, but millions was spent on fighting that case.
So that was a lot of resources that were expended.
Taken out of the school district. That was a bad choice on the special administrative board to file that lawsuit, but I don't think they expected it to win. Now, that's my personal views. I think it was an opportunity for that law firm at $300 an hour to make money.
I understand. Are you familiar with Tracy Miller?
Not really. She kind of popped up like Adam Lane did. It's going to be interesting because they got the same background. She's not a person of color,
Mm-hmm.
but she has the same background as Adam Lane and Charlie Cookson. And I'm sure she'll say the same thing, that is being involved because she cares about the children. But now remember, the school district, the St. Louis Public School District, has been under governance of the Special Administrative Board for the last 12, 13 years.
Right.
You didn't hear from none of these candidates until now. So if they were really sincere about wanting to help the kids in the public schools, where have they been?
So because of and my thing is that I think the timing is interesting. That at the same time that these two candidates, and one of them with a direct connection to Rex Sinquefield, and the other one who also, I guess, proffers the charter school kind of set up for school age kids. At the same time that the city county merger becomes a flash issue here in the area. So my concern is that a joint effort? Because one of the things that you and I had talked about was that in the Better Together document, and I've read the executive summary, they don't mention the school district at all.
No, not at all. When Better Together first came out with that big announcement, with at that time it was former Mayor Francis Slay, and he showed up out in the county, and they made the big announcement. One of my first questions to the executive director of Better Together was, why didn't we include the public school systems? And her comment was, well, we talked about it, but we feel now is not the time. Well, that's one of the reasons I'm not in support of Better Together, and why I don't think Better Together really is serious about their intentions on moving the region forward. Because if you don't include the school district, then Better Together won't work. It's just a failure. And once again, it's showing how segregated the region is here in Missouri. If you want an equitable education for all children, then what better way than to consolidate the school district, and all the real estate taxes are spread it out among the schools equally.
Okay.
I mean, there's no better way to show equitable education.
Okay. And so yeah, I had a question right in the tip of my tongue, and it'll come back to me in a little bit. But a couple of the things that I had a difficulty with, is how the business community is actually helping push the Better Together idea. They're behind the merger of the city and the county, which to me says it's a financial transaction more than actually helping just the citizens. It's more about how does everybody make money out of this? Would you agree with that?
Well, there's definitely money tied to it. There's no way around it. But to be truthful about the Better Together plan, of course there should be a regional effort in economic opportunities for both city and county. And what better way to do it if the two join? Unfortunately, they're not doing it the right way, and they're not including the people who actually it would affect and live here. And that's the problem. If you want to be true to regionalism, you include everybody, and everybody's at the table. That's not happening. And one of the biggest things is the school districts. You must include the school district. I mean, Better Together is saying that we need to consolidate the police departments, the fire department, the street department. Those are all beneficial to the region, but so is the school districts. And without that, it's a failed plan.
Well, another aspect of it was the TIF, the tax breaks they were given to companies. And that became an issue as a part of the city-county merger. Is that not correct?
That's correct, but Leon, they are playing a game with the regular Joe that don't know what a TIF is. They Better Together saying that over $5 billion have been diverted from the schools and from the region because of developers getting TIFs. You got to remember, a TIF is nothing. It's a piece of paper. It's tax credits that the developer has to sell to the banks. So TIF is actually more money. It's tax credits that the developers use to produce a project, whether it's a shopping mall, whether it's apartments, whether it's a hotel, but it doesn't become actual money until those tax credits are sold to the bank. The school districts will realize an influx of those dollars after that TIF is repaid back to the city in 23 years, and it will be substantial. What hurts school districts are tax abatements, because that's money that's right there, but once they freeze that tax abatement, the schools receive absolutely nothing.
So is that a part of is that a part of this city-county merger that's creating a real problem as you see it?
Oh yeah, because they're giving the community misinformation. They're pushing that TIFs and tax abatements are hurting the region, are hurting school districts, and that's not true. They are not. Like I said, TIFs is not money until those tax credits are sold to the banks, and the banks buy them. But Better Together is using that as a tool to convince or try to convince people to support this merger.
Okay. One of the things that I also ran across is when it was first presented to me, or when I first started hearing about the city-county merger, it was a meeting that you and I attended, and they talked about it was a statewide vote. And I understand, all right, so I did a little bit of research on that. And the statewide vote was because of there needed to be changes in the Missouri Constitution. Is that correct? Or are you familiar with that?
Well, I am, and I don't believe it is. I think some of it is involving the Constitution, but no, the main part and the preparation is not. That's my interpretation.
So do you think they're trying to use influence outside the St. Louis area to try to make this? Because we've tried to merge the city and the county before on several occasions, and have been unsuccessful. You think maybe that this is just an opportunity to try to use influence out state to make this happen?
Oh, there's no doubt, Leon. That's the only way that they're going to have a success with getting this merger done is from outside of St. Louis City and St. Louis County. Here they're trying to take advantage of the Republican Party, where the legislature is controlled by Republicans, and for the last 6-7 years, outstate St. Louis and the rural parts of Missouri have been governing Kansas City and St. Louis. And so they're looking to those folks and to those influencers to get this thing through. Because, as many county residents, as many white residents as there are blacks are against this merger. And so they know that it's going to be difficult to get passed within the city of St. Louis and St. Louis County. So quite naturally, they're looking for those rural areas for support.
Okay, and one of the things that also piqued my interest was in the document they talked about maintaining some of the cultural nature of the area, and so they wanted to bring the city as part, I guess, a municipality of the county, and you, as you mentioned merging some of the fire departments, police services, but also part of it is not allowing the individual municipalities to set their own taxes.
Correct, and that's one of the reasons for that 33-member council that they're putting together. But if the merger happened, the city of St. Louis, as we know it, is no more. The cultural that exists in not only the city of St. Louis but in North St. Louis ceased to exist, and all of that was taken into account when this select group of Better Together presented this proposal to the community.
So now, I only went to the one meeting. I wasn't familiar with the other ones. And you attended several of the other ones, correct?
No, I've only attended one, and basically, really, Leon, that's all I needed. It's the same. They're presenting what they have in print. There's nothing different. They listen to the community, but they do not give feedback. So all they're doing is going through the motions to say we included the community in our deliberations. That's it.
Okay. So now on the school, or I guess one of the people that helped found the school that Adam Lane was on the board of was a Cruson. Is he related to Lyda?
Yes, that's Lyda's son.
That to me makes a strange connection. So we've got a charter school. We've got a charter school with a Cruson on it. Adam Lane is on the board of that school. Adam Lane then moves to the St. Louis Public School. He has a relationship with Rex Sinquefield, who has spent money trying to reform the city government because he was attempted to get rid of the income tax.
Sales tax, yes.
Yeah, income tax in the city, and he's for privatizing the school system. And so, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and so is the current administration that governs the school district. They are slowly trying to transform the school district into a private entity, which they're pretty close to doing it.
Right, because we had talked about the last time that they wanted to place a board that was selected and not elected in charge of the school system, even after they had finished their work, which they had been selected and not elected themselves. And my guess is they've got a couple of more proponents of that on the current school board.
Correct. And they're hoping that those proponents on the school board will influence that board to lean in their direction. What they call it is a consortium. And what happens, I don't know if you remember, but when they made the big announcement about the St. Louis schools being fully accredited, that was not the case, but everybody ignored the data. The data showed that out of 76 schools, 33 of them had failed. So how in the world could the school district be fully accredited when you've got a third of the schools failed? And so they're taking those 33 failed schools and going to contract out management of those schools to private entities. And so this is on the path to privatizing St. Louis Public School District.
Okay. And so as we had mentioned that there was, or you had mentioned last time that we talked when you were going to run for the school board, is that there were several, I think it was 4 or 5 schools that were, I think you said failing?
Well, no, there was 33.
There were 33, okay. And so when they privatized this, have they put forth any kind of a plan of how to address those issues, or is it just, they privatize the system, and if someone can't make money in those school districts, they just walk away from them? Is that?
Well, that's what can happen, because what the Special Administrative Board is doing is taking those 33 failed and failing schools out of the public school system and going to put them out for private contract and let these private management companies come in and try to turn those schools around. Of course, it's the same thing as when the charter school management companies came in. They created these charter schools and tried to have a better education, and it didn't. Mayor Slay had to close a group of Imagine schools because they were not learning our kids, and they had financial difficulties.
The success rate so we've had several years of charter and magnet schools, and the success rate has leveled off. As far as, in the beginning there was this euphoria, I guess, about it, and the idea of a charter school was great, but now as far as the success rate goes, it has leveled off, and there's no clear data that privatization adds benefit to the school system. Am I correct?
That's correct. I mean, if you look at the current charter schools now, there's only one that's making the grade out of the 30-some schools that are still left. Even the community school up on Euclid, who had good scores for the last, maybe out of the last 6 years, 2.5 years were very good marks. Now the school has turned around and is heading downward and is failing our kids. And, I don't have to tell you about the Confluence Academy, which Mayor Slay supported and funded when it first created, and they have been failing for the last 8 years.
Wow, that one I did not know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the sad thing is, Leon, our kids are in all these failed schools, both St. Louis public and charters, and the systems or the administration of both those entities have not informed the parents that your child is in a failed school. And by law, they're supposed to do that. But the real big kicker with our schools is we should be dependent on the teachers union to really work with us in learning our kids. And the Local 420 has been quiet on all of this, even when they came out to support certain candidates for the school board. They never talked about the current condition of the schools or the system, and only supported candidates that they thought that they could have influence with. And that's sad, because we have to I don't want to say blame the teachers union for those failed schools, but they have to accept responsibility for that failure as well as the administration.
Very good. So we're running close to time, and I don't know if you're familiar with the privatization of the airport. Has anything happened in that area?
No, not yet, but they're moving forward. Which, in Leon, is no problem with putting that out for bid just to see if we could make more money. There's nothing wrong with that. However, the process that they did, or the process that they completed, was shady.
Right, I understand that.
Yeah, we've got one of the best airport directors in the country. Whatever a management company could do, she is supposed to be able to do it. And they have not included her in the process of identifying management companies to come in, or she plays no role whatsoever in this process, and that's questionable.
Okay. So I think we on the so McKee still owns quite a bit of land here in the North Side. Now, when he was given the deal from the city to develop that property, now you have your own company, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you are in real estate, correct?
In construction and development.
Okay, construction and development. Now, have you worked with McKee on any of his projects?
None whatsoever. However, I was a TIF commissioner
right
when he came to the TIF for that. And one of the things we did, Leon, because we knew that this was a big vision of his. He had nothing concrete, and so what we decided to do was to look at his proposal or his development in phases, and we wouldn't release any TIF credits until he completes one phase of the project.
Okay.
And that's, as far as I know, that's still in place. I mean, I don't think he's going to go anywhere anytime soon. He's locked in with the state. He's locked in with the city, basically, because he owns all that property. He is interested in creating 2 employment hubs at 22nd and Market Street and at Tucker and Cass Avenue. Those are his 2 primary spots. He's done other projects in the area. I mean, his first project was a huge plumbing contracting company that produces or that sells plumbing supplies to every major contractor in the region. That was his first project. He's more interested in employment in business than he is in residential.
Okay. But he owns so he's bought a lot of property in residential areas, though. Is that safe to say?
Well, yeah, that's safe to say. And it was a smart move, because when a developer comes in to build residential, well, he owns the land. He will continue to own the land. He's just going to lease that land to those developers for those residential properties.
Okay, so this was, well, okay, I understand that. So what was the city's thought behind giving him those projects or supporting him in the beginning? Because they had a falling out after during the purchase of the area for the NGA. So what was if you have any idea, what was the city's involvement in helping him get where he was?
This is my personal opinion. I'm only speaking about the facts as I know them.
Okay.
But Paul McKee is a very smart, shrewd business person, and he saw an opportunity to make money. I truly believe that he took advantage of the city because the city was so busy on trying, or they were just stuck on trying to get some type of development happening in North St. Louis, that they wasn't looking and really comprehending what he was doing and putting together. And he put together a deal for Paul McKee for the next 30, 40 years. And there's just no way to get around this guy now with any type of development around NGA. And the city realizes that now. But rather than fight this guy, it's time for them to reach across the table and to help this guy succeed because he's in the driving seat.
So what do you foresee is the impact going forward with the city-county merger as far as Paul McKee is concerned?
In my opinion, I truly believe the city and county merger will not happen because I do not believe that the representatives from Kansas City, the representatives from St. Louis, Missouri, will support that effort. And as long as they band together, because, rural Missouri, like I said, has been micromanaging the laws affecting Kansas City and St. Louis for the last 10 years. So unless the representatives from Kansas City and St. Louis stick together, better together will not happen. With that being, that's not going to hurt the McKee project. He's set. He's moving forward with his plans. His projects are taking off very slowly, but they're taking off. I think the city needs to get more involved with him and let bygones be bygones because the NGA is happening, but we have to develop the surrounding communities of the NGA. And we can't do that without Paul McKee because he holds that land.
Gotcha. So let's say that and I'll make this my last question. So let's say the city-county merger fails. What happens then from the standpoint of the city?
Well, I think that the city is going to continue the progress as they are. I think we're going to see, as you know, the reduction of the Board of Aldermen will happen. We will go down to 14 seats, and I think that's going to be a win-win for the city, that we're going to be able to do things much simpler and much quicker with less persons at the Board of Aldermen. I think the key to the success for the city of St. Louis is going to be the next mayoral race. I don't know if there's a candidate out there that the black community is considering. I do know that Mayor Krewson wants another term. Mayor Krewson is very receptive to North St. Louis and the black community, and she's putting some right folks in the right place. But I think the key will be her in the Board of Aldermen and what that board is going to look like after the reduction. And don't forget, Leon, we still got the redistricting that's going to be happening that's going to affect St. Louis also.
Okay. I want to say thank you very much for joining me this afternoon.
Oh, yes, I really appreciate it. I hope you stay on this because, the best thing that we have in the community is communication and knowledge. And your shows brings that knowledge to the community, especially to the average Joe like myself.
Well, thank you very much, and I'll do my best to try to hang in there. That wraps it up for today. I want to thank everyone for joining me this afternoon. The podcast is streamed live each week, and it's on YouTube. You're also encouraged to participate by asking questions and including your thoughts. To participate, you can contact Altitude Adjustment by connecting via Skype. at thelionsden.stl@gmail.com or at Google at thelionsden.stl@gmail.com. Please feel free to connect with me on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, and on YouTube. Also, be sure to look for this and other episodes where you listen to podcasts. Your likes and shares are internet gold, so please like and share this podcast where you find it. Remember, be cool, be calm, and above all, be careful. Look out for the other guy because they may not be looking out for you.